Lewis Steele has said he expects Liverpool to make as many as 5 signings this summer. He says that the priority positions are left back, striker, and winger, and then right back in midfield. He also mentions the want for a left-footed centre-back. Now, a left-footed centre-back, Dean Huijsen is not a left-footed centre-back, but he does have a strong left foot, so maybe they'd be willing to make an exception for him. He does mention Jared Brantwaite as a player we've got interest in, and Brantwaite is somebody that we've long held interest in. So, possibly. He's also suggested that there's up to 12 players in the squad whose futures are uncertain. And I don't think any of these names are surprising, with maybe the exception of Quansah. Darwin, Kelleher, Elliott, Doak, Diaz, Jota, Chiesa, Gomez, Endo, and Besetic are the others. Realistically, if we sold that entire group, there's only a handful of them you actually need to replace. Reece Williams now set for Liverpool exit after relegation to non-league. Quite odd that we still own Reece Williams, in truth, because, the chap clearly isn't good enough. Morecambe have been relegated from League 2 into the National League, so he'll probably be released. I can't see that we'd get much money for him, to be completely honest. What else do we have here on This Is Anfield? Trent Alexander-Arnold future clarified. There's no clarification at all. David Ornstein has said the expectation is that he'll go to Real Madrid. Ian Doyle has said that Liverpool haven't given up on keeping him. So, you'd believe Ornstein, obviously, over Doyle. Tottenham in a spiral and incapable of spoiling Liverpool. They never say shit like that. Jamie Carragher argues why Liverpool should replace Dominic Szoboszlai. Jamie Carragher is, as usual, wrong. Joe Gomez injury update. Arne Slot reveals if he can play again this season. He didn't really reveal much. Arne Slot explains next step for Conor Bradley. Yeah. He didn't really say much. Just standard manager speak. Really wasn't overly committal on anything. Wasn't overly committed on anything. Did boost the player up, of course, because that's his job, but there wasn't a ton. On the topic of Bradley, Roy Keane was quite critical of him and said, he was poor against Leicester, which he was. I mean, I saw people try to claim that after the first 20 minutes he was brilliant. No, he was very poor defensively throughout. He had a couple of nice runs, and that was basically it. His final ball was dreadful. There was very little to like about Bradley's performance against Leicester, but it was his first start in a while. Now, his last start wasn't great either. If I'm not mistaken, that was Everton away. So, he's got an awful lot of improving to do. Right now, for a club like us, he's a squad player. In terms of being a starter, I mean, let's have a look at the Premier League table and see where he would start. Certainly wouldn't start for Arsenal. You could make a case that he'd start for City, but it's because they don't own a right back at the moment. Well, they do. He just plays for AC Milan, and he's not very good anymore. He wouldn't start for Newcastle. He wouldn't start for Chelsea. He wouldn't start for Forest because Ola Aina's better. He wouldn't start. He might start for Villa, but again, that's more due to Matty Cash being poor. He'd start for Bournemouth, Fulham, Brighton, it depends. If Kadioglu's fit, he probably doesn't. He definitely doesn't. Kadioglu's a better player. He's older, of course, but yeah. Brentford, they've just signed Coyote. He wouldn't start there. Wouldn't start for Palace. He's not nearly tall enough to start for Everton. You have to be 6'5" to start for Everton in defence. He wouldn't start for United, despite all the problems. The low is better. Probably start for Wolves. Semedo, it's probably a coin toss. He doesn't start for Spurs. Wan-Bissaka is a lot better defensively, but Bradley's a lot better going forward, so it just depends what you want. He'd start for Ipswich. He'd start for Leicester. And he'd start for Southampton. So he'd start for half the league. But two of them likely go out in the summer and sign superior players, City and Chelsea. So then you're looking at basically Bournemouth, Fulham, maybe Everton if they move O'Brien into the middle. Wolves and the bottom three, but they're all going down. You know, he's not good enough to be starting for us. He just isn't. We have to set a higher standard. And just because a player comes through the academy doesn't mean they should be starting for us, or doesn't mean that special considerations should be made. There's a strange article on Liverpool.com. Liverpool's possible 20-man matchday squad for next year. So, the goalkeepers, Alisson and Mamardashvili, that's fine. The defenders, Frimpong, who doesn't make any sense in a back four, Bradley, Kanate, Van Dijk, Huijsen, Kerkez, who makes even less sense if Frimpong is the right back. Kerkez and Frimpong is the epitome of a horrible pairing. Now, if Frimpong's a winger, then it becomes very interesting and could be very fun. If Frimpong is played on the right wing, if we change shape a little bit, and maybe Mo moves into a more central role, then Frimpong on the right wing with a defensive right back behind him and Kerkez as the left back, that could be very interesting. And then Andy Robertson, who shouldn't be at the club next season. But that's 130 million spent on the defense. And from a defensive point of view, that's worse than we have this season. Like, that's flat out worse than we have this season. Midfield, Gravenberch, Stiller, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones, and Elliott. Elliott probably unlikely to be here next year. Angelo Stiller is a really good player. Really, really good player. He's a horrible fit for us. Stiller makes us worse defensively. So what this gentleman has done is he's now spent... Stiller's got a release clause for next summer, but they're going to want top dollar this summer, so they're probably going to want 50. So now he's at about 180 million of an experiment, and he's made us much worse defensively. Stiller with either Gravenberch or McAllister is worse defensively than Gravenberch and McAllister by themselves. Now, he does improve our build-up, but overall, it's probably still a net negative, especially when you consider what's behind, especially if Jeremy Frimpong was the right back. I don't think people understand how bad that kid is defensively, like how little care he has defensively. And then in attack, he's gone Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, who should be sold, Jota, who ideally should be sold, and Isak. So Isak is obviously a huge improvement up front, but he spent 330 million there, and overall, we're no better than we are right now. We're worse defensively. We'll be better in attack. It's probably a push overall. We're like a lot better in attack and a lot worse defensively. So he spent 330 million there on this possible matchday squad, which isn't possible at all because Isak is not for sale and he hasn't improved us. That is quite the staggering effort. So let's give a big congratulations to Liam Corless. That's awful. It's about the worst way you could spend 330 million. 330 million should enormously improve us. Enormously. Like, let's say Alvarez is 100 million. Right? Let's say Adam Wharton is 70. Let's say...
Alright, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to AnfieldIndex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.